and Sensibility, a podcast about making sense of sex and relationships. I am Mary Zoso, wholesome, holistic sex coach.
I'm Wesley Fenza.
And I'm Gina, as usual.
Yes, my old podcast, I always started out with, as always, I'm Wesley Fenza. In case you didn't get the memo, the previous 200 shows.
Imagine when we've done 200 episodes of this very podcast.
We never actually did 200 of that one.
No.
That's true.
Well, it's important. I really just want us to at least make it to number 69. You guys did your podcast. This one has to.
Well, we're on number 6.
Nice. Half nice.
So only 63 more.
We're halfway there. We got the first digit.
Totally. Yeah.
No, we're only 1/3 of the way there because the second digit's bigger.
Yeah, all right. It's not about size. So today we're going to talk about this thing I like to do with myself and with other people, like clients and stuff, which I don't have a great name for. And it's not like I entirely made it up. I sort of do it in a particular way that I do it. But it's basically feeling your feelings for 2 minutes.
Now, I had forbade you from telling me anything about this before the podcast because I want to experience it all as the same way the audience is. So what is this feeling your feelings?
So the basic instruction is you sort of create a welcoming space for whatever feeling you want to work with. So it might be anger, or I have a whole class based around, arousal and sexuality. So it could be like horniness that's coming up. It could be...
And a whole nother class around shame.
Yes. I also do it in my shame class. I also do it in my fear class. I've done it individually with people on dread and delight. And I've done it with myself on overwhelm and heartbreak and all kinds of things. So whatever the emotion is, you can do it without naming it. I find for myself, it works better if I can name it. Like sometimes we just have a whole bunch of feelings coming up. If I can name that cluster, like sometimes that cluster is overwhelmed. Like I'm overwhelmed with too many emotions. Maybe the cluster is intensity because it's a bunch of intense emotions. So I find it works better if I can name it. But I think it would also work to just be like, okay, whatever feelings are there, come up. And the idea is you sort of create a welcoming space in your mind, in your body, however you want to think of it. And it's like you throw a little like tea party or picnic or something and send out the invitation like, hey, sadness, come, join me for a picnic. And, we're going to sit there and have tea and cookies or something. I don't know what. And
it's very much like Inside Out.
Yes.
The Pixar movie. Yes.
Yeah. It's totally like Inside Out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, you must really like this method because you have never talked for that long uninterrupted on the podcast before. You are very excited about this.
I do love this method. I did it with myself today. To deal with some feelings. And yeah, every time somebody's like having trouble with feelings, I'm like, have you tried this 2-minute method?
I can attest that this is true.
Yes.
It's great. She's like, do you want to try something? It only takes 2 minutes.
Yes.
And it's, we were excited to do this topic because I very recently have had to employ it multiple times. And it's so effective. I found myself wanting to evangelize about it, but I also realize that, we'll probably talk about this later, but it requires you to be very open to, I guess, surrendering to it. Because usually the thing that stops me from, trying to do it is I'm resisting it for whatever reason. Like I am just like, no. I'm still trying to figure out what the noble reason behind my feelings are and trying to justify the feelings. And at some point it becomes untenable, I guess, is the experience I've been having. And I guess the biggest experience I had with it first was on the 4th of July, my band and I did a 3-hour gig in 96-degree heat. And I somewhat succumbed to the elements. We all kind of did, but I was having a really hard time with it. And
it was very hot.
It was very hot.
It was so hot.
I was like sitting in the shade with a fan, and I was still like, man, it's hot out here.
At one point, I wear a Fitbit all the time, and I looked down at my heart rate while I was singing "Desperado" of all things, and I looked down. It was saying it was 170, which is like peak, and I was like, I'm not even many. I'm not even playing guitar or leading on this. I'm just sitting here, overheating. And so, I had a lot of feelings about this. I won't go into all of them, but I had many, many feelings about failure and being fragile and all these different things. And I do say it all the time.
Oh man!
Sorry.
I just pointed out to Gina the other day that she says the phrase "all these different things" all the time, and she was like, "What? Are you sure?"
Well,
I also told her that like 10 years ago, and she forgot.
No, I forgot. But now I see. I was blind, but now I see. Anyway,
Oh my god, you're gonna do this at least once a day.
Yeah. It's all right. It's not a terrible turn of phrase. It's fine.
No, it's fine. This is very specific to you. I don't know anyone else who says
Really?
who uses that phrase.
I don't know where I got it from. Whatever. Anyway, I had many feelings, etc. And I came home and I spent a while just doing sort of physical care. Clearly, I was physically depleted from all of that. But after I kind of did all the good stuff, I'm like, all right, I'm going to drink a bunch of water and I'm going to rest and I'm going to, cool off and do all these things. I was like feeling emotionally bad and couldn't seem to shake it. And I was like struggling with it. And, I have the pleasure of getting to hang out with Mary like a lot. And we were sitting on the couch and I was just like, and I was like getting mad and trying to tell a big story about what was going on with me. And so she said that. She's like, have you considered just I'll set a timer for 2 minutes and you can just feel the feeling. And I'm like, what? But that's what I'm doing right now. She's like, no. It's not that. It's feeling it and just letting it flow without judging it, or more to the point, without judging that you're judging it, without having all of these various... Now I'm going to notice whenever I say all these things. But...
All right. Well, Zeri,
yeah,
you didn't actually tell us how to do it yet.
I mean, I basically did. So
you said you invite in the feeling.
You invite in the feeling. You want to kind of let the thoughts just go by. You don't have to fight with the thoughts. You don't have to completely clear your mind of thoughts or whatever. It's like you're sitting there having tea, spending quality time with this feeling. And the thoughts are like, the birds in the trees or the ants on the tablecloth or whatever, they're there or whatever, but you're not focusing on them. You're focusing on the feeling and just feeling it, in your body. And most people, that's really hard to do if you're not used to doing it. And it's really not obvious if you're not used to doing it. Like a lot of people, and Gina, you did this that day too, like you continued to talk about it for like 10 minutes. After I suggested it, I think, it's just that, this and this and the whole story, and so many people do that. And I keep coming back like, let's just try this for 2 minutes, like just the feelings, just let the thoughts go. And I say just, not because it's easy, but because
it's quick.
Yeah. And it's 2 minutes because for years I heard people saying, just sit with the feeling. And I'm like, what the fuck does that even mean? Like, how do you sit with a feeling? And
that's what I said the other day, and you yelled at me.
like, how am I not feeling my feelings? Well, I was feeling my feelings sort of, but mostly I was tangled up in the story around the feelings. And also, like, just sit with the feeling. They don't tell you how long. And when you have all these big feelings, it's like, that's gonna take forever. These never go away. Like, how can I don't have time for that shit. And when I started doing this for 2 minutes, I was like,
feeling also, I mostly hear that in a condescending way.
What do you mean?
Well, it's like, I most of the time I see people using that phrase, it's like as a way to call someone a baby or something, where they're like, oh, you seem upset. Why don't you sit with that feeling instead of like yelling at me or something?
Well, it's like more like treating it as a punishment. Like, oh, do you feel bad? Well, maybe you should. So why don't you sit with that? And
or it's more like, I always see it as like, go away and stop bothering me. Go sit with your feelings.
No, I haven't
like
seen
take
it
a time out.
Yeah, or like stop making your feelings my problem or something. Which often is valid, but you know.
Well, yeah, and you can take 2 minutes to not make your feelings somebody else's problem, you know, just to see what happens. But yeah, 2 minutes is actually enough to do stuff. Like, if you're not used to doing that, and like, we all think we're feeling our feelings all the time, but we're not. We're fighting with our feelings. Then
it's the resistance you're actually feeling.
Yeah.
I think 2 minutes is actually a really long time to do that.
It feels like a really long time.
Mm-hmm. It's like when people do like eye gazing, or you're like, do it for 60 seconds, and you're like, that's nothing, and then you do it, and you're like, this is so long.
Yeah.
I found my experience with it so far, like when I'm ready to do it, 2 minutes is like the exact right amount of time. So in this case, we were talking about, I finally succumbed to it. I was like, okay, fine. You know, she's setting a timer. I have 2 minutes to deal with it. Like to
oh yeah, and that's part of the method. You set a timer.
Yeah,
a literal timer on your phone or whatever,
because it does feel a lot longer.
Yeah. And I find if I try to do it without setting a timer, and there have been so many times that I was like, okay, I'm good at this. I don't need a timer. I can just do it for 2 minutes. And the whole time I'm like, is it 2 minutes up? Is it 2 minutes up? What am I doing? Why is this taking so long?
Yeah, but because I knew I had this time frame, right? And I was like, look, you know, you don't have time to sit here and ruminate, because a lot of people have this problem, but I know in particular, I do a lot of ruminating, which is why stuff gets like lodged, feelings get lodged in me, because I ruminate on them with the story and everything. So the whole goal of this was so that I would just feel it without judgment. And so she started the timer.
And without narrativizing.
Yeah. And I just wept for 2 minutes straight. But I would say at about like the 15 seconds left or something, or like right at the 2 minute, whatever it wasn't like I stopped weeping because the alarm went off. It was that was how much time I needed to empty that out. And after that happened, you know, we sat there and it was very sweet. Mary was hugging me, and Wes was hugging me, and our daughter was hugging me. And it was like this very whole thing while I was doing this. And
also, I did not know what you were doing. I did not know you were doing this whole 2 minute method.
Oh, you didn't hear us talking about it?
No, you guys were like sitting over there chatting to each other, and I think I was reading something and not eavesdropping.
Oh, I didn't know you didn't read.
Yeah.
I didn't know you didn't know you were right there on the couch with us.
Right. So he was involved without even knowing what he was involved in.
That's right. That's why I know some of how this goes, but not all of it.
Yeah. And after that, I felt completely better. Like I had just let all of whatever it was go, and I didn't feel the need to come up with why I was feeling that way. I just needed to let it out.
Because if we're giving ourselves, if we're telling ourselves why we're feeling that way, then we have like, quote, a good reason to continue feeling that way. Like, why would you stop if you have a reason to feel that way? But sometimes you're just feeling it and it doesn't matter why. And then it can just go away.
Yeah, I did not know that was a thing that could happen. And, you know, just for context, like I almost, like Wes and I were supposed to go out that night to go deal with Philadelphia 250 and go and like hang out on the Parkway and stuff. Right. And we were like moments away before I did this for me being like, I really shouldn't go. I'm just so sad. I'm you know, not going to have fun, because they were asking me like, are you going to have fun if we go to this thing? I'm like, I don't know.
I did not think you were going to have fun, because it was going to be, you know, hot and, you know, with, you know, people that aren't like the people you feel the closest with. And it was going to be probably crowded and all kinds of stuff.
We didn't know what we were walking into.
We were like, this is not the kind of thing you want to go to if you're like already feeling terrible.
Not great. And after I did this, I felt like $1 million, and I had the best time. Like we went to the thing and I was like, yeah, and like I was just like, I want to be in the loud music and I want to be like partying down, and we're like the oldest people amongst these friends we were hanging out with,
these
and
kids,
like, these children, and they were like, oh, I don't want to be near the loud music. I was like, what's wrong with you?
That's what the kids today are all like. They don't appreciate rock and roll.
I was like, well, I'm gonna go get my face blown off by these speakers.
When I was your age, we used to wear T-shirts that said, if it's too loud, you're too old. Kids today aren't wearing those T-shirts.
It was during this whole thing that I discovered, or like more fully defined, one of my vices, which is this. I didn't know. You know, I'm pretty good at like moderating, and I moderate with this too. I don't just constantly go to loud concerts and everything like that, but I just really love live music, and I like it to be really, really loud. And like when I like going dancing, and I haven't done that in a long time, but the reason I used to like to go somewhere to do it instead of just like do it at my house is because I just wanted them to play the music so loud that I was just like thumping around with bass and all that. And I thought everybody was sort of like this. I was like, yeah, of course. It's a really fun, sensual experience. And apparently I am in the minority of the people we know for that. So I was like indulging in that, and that was really fun. And like, I also was taking really good care of myself otherwise. Like I was drinking water all day and I was doing all these things. So I can't believe it, because it was this 2-minute thing that enabled me to do that. And so I am certainly a believer. And since then, I've had like various things that I've had to kind of work through that I have employed the 2-minute thing on when I felt stuck. And that's what it's really good for. You know, when you're just being, you know, you're stuck with something. And I can talk a little bit more about how I've figured out that for me, it's about like embodying where the feeling is, but I don't know if you have more that you wanted to say.
No, go ahead.
That. One of the biggest things that I learned very recently, because I've been going through some stuff that I'll probably be writing blog posts about. I did, actually. There's a Substack up about this, but, you know, been going through some stuff that's a lot about codependent patterns and things like that. And so I've been going through waves of having feelings get stuck and all of that. And when
this blog post will be in the show notes, by the way. So go click on it and read it.
It's awesome.
Thank you. I noticed that sometimes when I tried to do the 2-minute thing, like when I was in sort of the middle of a big wave of sort of decentralized emotion, like I had like a lot of negativity just coursing through me and was like not able to control it. I definitely tried. There was a point during a recent thing where I had to leave the Planet Fitness I was trying to work out at, and I went behind the Planet Fitness to stand next to an electrical box and basically just scream because I was so frustrated about what was happening. And I was like, okay, I'm going to do my 2-minute thing so I can get it together.
Yeah, you can't do that in the Planet Fitness. They'll set off the lunk alarm.
Yeah. They're like, look at her. She's getting frustrated about lifting weights. No, I just didn't need the lunks to see me freak out in the middle of the gym. So I went out behind the gym and I'm just like, okay. And I set a timer. It was completely ineffective at this time because it was like I had too much. It was just, I was in the middle of very much feeling my feelings and couldn't stop them. The flow was too strong. And I think when this is effective is when I've been sitting with, I guess, maybe a narrative of the emotion for a while. And what it almost does is it like starts out decentralized all around and then starts condensing into some part of my body, usually like either my chest or like the pit of my stomach, something like that. And it is at the point when it's like focused that I have been able to effectively make the decision, like, okay, I'm that feeling is stuck here, and it doesn't even matter what the feeling is. I just want it out, and then I'll set the alarm and just pour it out. So I envision it as a little bottle. People are always saying like, don't bottle up your feelings, but actually. You shouldn't, but actually this is a part of the process is that I go like, okay, I have now condensed it into this spot that I know how to target my energies. This all sounds very woo, I guess, but whatever. So it is. And then I just kind of like uncap the bottle and go like, all right, get out. And it's really, that is very effective. I had been like kind of having a bad day all day on Sunday that way, but I just was kind of feeling meh. And by the time I was in the evening, I guess I'd had enough. Like it had condensed, and I just went, all right, this needs to end. And so I let it go, and I felt great for the rest of the night. So that's kind of part of it for me. I don't really envision it as a picnic or anything like that. It's my vision is this, container that I, instead of thinking about it in like a unhealthy way where it's like I'm bottling up my emotions and never will deal with them. It's actually like collecting it in order to do better disposal, more efficient disposal that can be done in 2 minutes. So, yeah, and it has no narrative. It has no anything at that point. It's just energy I'm dumping out.
Yeah, and I'm always I keep coming up with new ways to describe it because everyone, I think, visualizes it a little bit different. And I think it works best if they come up with their own visualization. So I might like toss out a few options, but usually after they've done it, they're like, oh yeah, I pictured myself doing this. And it's always totally different, but it always works for that specific person. And I think making it your own is part of the process of making it really effective. But when I was doing the vibe camp decompression sessions for people having the vibe camp crash, post vibe camp crash, and I did like a whole bunch of those. In almost all of them, we wound up doing that because all these feelings are coming up after vibe camp, and they're all like tied to these stories. Like, I'm feeling like garbage, and it's because I think nobody liked me, or because I had this one interaction that was difficult, or because I'm just spinning out, or because, and it's all this because, and I'm like, okay, let's try this for 2 minutes. And they do it. And then they're like, wow, I feel so much better. And it's like sometimes those are real reasons, but there's no way to know if the reasons are real when the reason and the emotion are all tied up together. They're both like feeding off of each other and amplifying each other. And if you can give the emotion a chance to move through you, you get this clarity. And maybe the reason is still there, and it's like, okay, that is a real thing and I should do something about this. Or maybe it's just like, man, why was I worried about that? That was silly.
Yeah, so if you saw any of the dozens of people who posted on Twitter, like, oh, I did a Vibe Camp decompression call with Mary Zoso, and it was amazing, and it feels so much better. Sounds like this method is a big reason why.
Yeah, that's a big reason why. Yeah.
All right, it wasn't dozens of people, but it was quite a few.
Yeah. I think I did like 10 of them or something.
Well, that's a lot. That's a lot. I mean, and we're just not. I feel like we're just not generally wired to let stuff go. I mean, as like a culture, I think.
Yeah, we're not incentivized to let it go because we get a lot of attention as long as we're upset about something and can say why we're upset and what this person did to me or that person, or, you know, why we've had such a difficult life or this or that. And actually, like,
Mary's talking about the culture of victimization.
Making us miserable, everyone.
There are tools that you can use to just feel better, and it doesn't
like
make
Roxy does.
Go away. Yeah, like Roxy does. Although you usually walk her through those, I think.
Well, she's 6.
Yeah,
but I do ask her if she's ready to feel better, and sometimes she says no, and then because she doesn't ready to feel better yet.
I think that is so important that she can just say no, I'm not ready to feel better yet. And I think so many of us, if we could just say, I am not ready to feel better, I am not ready to stop feeling bad, like that's part of this process. It's like I feel angry and I'm not ready to stop feeling angry. So maybe I want to just sit here for 2 minutes and really feel angry. And then it's like, oh, now I'm ready. And then it's gone. And it's great.
All right. So you were going to tell us how you developed this method.
Yeah, man, I put that in there and now I can't remember how I developed it. Okay. So yeah.
Well, it started out with with people saying, just sit with your feelings and you not knowing what they meant.
Yeah. And the unknown amount of time was, I think, my biggest issue with it, because if you haven't done it, it just feels like there would never be enough time. And if you don't set a timer, you could just sit there. You can also set a timer for longer amounts. Like part of my process is I do it for 2 minutes, and then I do this 3 letters thing, which we'll talk about later, and then I do it again for 5 minutes. To just like really give it a little more time. And
if all inner work came with a timer, I think I would feel much more positively about it.
I put timers on all of it. I love the timers.
I feel like my biggest problem with inner work is how open-ended it is. Like, but how do you? But like, when do you stop doing the inner work? You just do it forever. And so many people I know just are like, yeah, I'm working on myself, or I'm working on this, and they're just working on it forever.
Yeah.
So I'm a big fan of timers.
Yeah. A big part of this was I was in Daniel Brotman's meditation fundamentals class. And it was super awesome. And one of the things that we did was this like compassionate, welcoming meditation. And it was for a longer amount of time. Like we did it for various lengths of time. But he was like, you know, just let whatever's coming up come up and just feel it. And I hadn't really done that, but this class had a container, so you know, it was like, I don't know, it was like 5 minutes or 10 minutes or whatever we were doing, so I knew that it was going to be over. There was going to be an endpoint, and so I was able to like let stuff come up. And in that first class where we did this one, I had like just all this grief come up that I didn't even know was there. It was just like this huge bottomless pit of grief, and it was like so overwhelming. I had to like duck out of the class. You
had to leave the Planet Fitness.
I had to leave the meditation gym.
It's gonna be my new phrase when somebody's too emotional to do what they're doing.
It's time to leave the Planet Fitness. But yeah, so like I was just like, whoa, this is wild. I have not just like felt stuff like this and like not tied it to the story and everything before. And I was like, okay, this is important. I need to do more of this. So yeah, so I think that's what kind of got me started on it was that. And recently I you know, I think I did eventually like kind of get the impression that as I was doing like various lengths of time, like I feel like a lot happens in just that first 2 minutes, and that makes it so easy and bite-sized, and you can just like, especially if it's intimidating, you can just do it for 2 minutes and get, you know, a lot of the effect. And you can do it for longer if you want, but like setting it for 2 minutes is just like, there's no reason, there's no excuse not to do it. Like you always have 2 minutes. So
you don't know about my fast-paced lifestyle. I need every minute to be used on increasing my productivity.
Yeah, but the key is you can do it on the go.
That's true. I do it in the car. I do it while I'm walking. I do it.
Or on the boat. Wherever good times are had. You can
or bad. You can do it outside the Planet Fitness.
Yeah, I was at work and like I was grumpy in the morning, and I like got to work and I was still like grumping around and I didn't
grumping around.
I didn't even know what, like I don't know what
you
my
do
problem
grump
was.
around sometimes.
Sometimes I do, and
so does
and
Roxy.
You know, yeah.
She was grumping around the other day, just going, or like she's going.
So Muppety.
I know.
Yes.
I'm gonna describe that as grumping around next time.
Yes, that's what I was doing, and I can't remember, and it doesn't matter like what my little, I'm just feeling this way because of X, Y, and Z. But I'm pretty sure it was probably mostly like you need to drink some water and you know, stuff like that. But I was stuck, and I had to do work in the lab, so I kept saying, okay, when I get done doing this work in the lab, I am going to go and do 2 minutes. But I kept getting more stuff I had to do, and also the stuff I had to do was really annoying the hell out of me. And so I just went, okay, clearly you're not going to get this 2 minutes anytime soon to go sit at your desk. So why don't you just grump at this for 2 minutes and let it go? And so I did, and I didn't even really notice that I was doing it, but I like kind of imagined, I was like, when I go, this was very funny. I was like, when I go sit at my desk later on to do this, I'm going to imagine opening that bottle. But I was doing that while I was so I sat there and I had done the exercise without really realizing that I was doing it, because I was, you know, it takes me a couple of minutes to check something or whatever.
You manifested it.
I did. I did. Quantum mechanics. And so at the end of this, I finished doing something and I realized I was not feeling grumpy anymore. And I was like, oh, I did it. I'm the greatest. And the rest of my day was fine. So you can do it on the go. It's not something you have to necessarily, I mean, I guess it depends on the feeling itself.
It's true. I see here on my outline that you can make it your own or do it your own way.
Yes. And that is the best way to do it, is your own way.
You say that about everything.
I mean, isn't it kind of true about everything?
Yes.
You're welcome.
So you said there's some other activity that this goes well with.
Yes. So like
about 3 letters.
Yes.
And this is the one I really have no idea what this is.
Yeah. So in the first session of all of these classes that I do this process with, it's the Love Your Lust process. So it's the Love Your Lust class. It's the Unraveling Shame class. It's the Befriend Your Fear class. I'm probably going to make a whole bunch of classes like this because this process works on all of it. But so this is something that my sponsor in Codependence Anonymous introduced me to. It's called the 3 letters activity. And so you write 3 letters, and some people will just like say them out loud. That's okay. You can type it, you can write it, you can, whatever resonates
Oh my God,
for you.
your classes come with homework?
No, we do it there in class.
Oh, okay. That's the best place to do homework.
Yeah, it's in class homework. So the first letter, the way it was described to me was she called it the fuck you letter, because and usually if I was really angry at someone, she would be like, I think this sounds like a good time to use the 3 letters, and I'm like, oh God, I don't want to do it.
So the first one is the 4-letter, 3-letter?
And I have modified it so that you don't have to be feeling angry. In her version, it was you write it, you address it to the person you're angry at, and you're never going to send it to them, but like you just pour out all that anger and angst onto the page. So in my version, I'm like, all right, it doesn't have to be anger. You could be feeling fearful or anxious or angsty or horny or like anything at all, whatever you're feeling. And this activity,
you
this
can feel
thing,
any of the 7 deadly sins.
Yes.
Gluttony.
Yes, you could be feeling so gluttonous. So this is actually really good, especially for people who try that 2-minute thing and just can't quite separate the thoughts, just can't quite let those go, because this one is all about the thoughts and it's all in words. And so you're writing a letter in words to, whatever emotion you want to work with here. So I've written letters to my fear, to my overwhelm. Today I wrote a letter to heartbreak, to like all kinds of things. I have helped people, write letters to so many different emotions. So the first letter, you're just like vomiting it out onto the page, and you want it to be totally uncensored. It doesn't matter if someone else is going to read it. I like sometimes having someone to sort of like witness it and read it, but it's not necessary. You can like burn it when you're done or whatever you want. You can save it in a nice little box tied up with a ribbon. I keep mine in my diary, and every once in a while I look back. It's a fuzzy bunny diary, and I'm like, wow, these letters are so wild. They're really interesting. But you just like write and write and write until it feels done. And for some people, that's a really long time, especially if they haven't done this activity before. You can keep doing this activity over and over and over again. Like I get new things out of it every time I do it. So that's the first letter, is like the real emotionally intense one. And then once it usually feels done when the emotion is kind of passing out of your system. You've said everything you need to say. And then the next...
I feel like there's so many emo songs that probably came from letters exactly like this.
Ooh, yeah.
Haven't you people ever heard of closing the goddamn door?
Yes. Yeah,
you should feed one into Suno and have it write a song for you.
Oh my God, that would be amazing.
So I'm breaking in here to say that I did do that, and I took that letter that Gina wrote and published on her blog, and fed it into Suno and had it write a song, and it's amazing. And I will put it at the end of the episode, so that'll be our outro music. Enjoy.
So the second letter is Wes, you're gonna hate this one so much.
Oh no.
So I was told it's to your higher power.
Calm down.
And I do address mine to God with a lowercase
yeah!
g. But I also always let people know it does not have to be God. It does not have to be any kind of like higher power. It can be like the universe or your higher self or what, Gina, you came up with a good one. What was yours? Light?
I did. Oh, yeah. I wrote a whole thing about because you said something that inspires curiosity, wonder, and like a sense of awe.
Yeah.
And so that doesn't have to be anything spiritual. It can be anything that you think is really amazing. And so I wrote an entire what ended up being a blog post today about my thoughts on the power of light, like literal, the light photons, on the ability of photons to affect matter, and that we're kind of bathed in this actual physical force all the time that is doing little micro changes and causing things to happen within our cells and all matter everywhere. We don't always see what it's doing. And that I'm like just completely and utterly fascinated by that. And so I've gained a lot of understanding about things regarding it. If I haven't mentioned this and people don't know this, my career is formulating polymer coatings that go from liquid to solid when exposed to UV light. And so that's been I've been thinking about this for decades at this point, but only recently have I understood how visible light affects things and how wavelength specific things are. And so that's what I wrote about for the second letter. And it still had to do with the thing I was angry about, but we'll finish with that and I'll go a little into
you people at home can't see, but right over Gina's right shoulder is her collection of uranium glass.
Yes,
which she collects because it has fun properties in ultraviolet light.
Yes.
So that second letter, it can have to do with the first letter and whatever you were upset about, or it can be a completely new topic. It doesn't matter. It's so you're moving from whatever this intense emotion is. You've kind of got the emotion out and into this kind of sense of awe and maybe asking questions. Sometimes you're still mad at God or whatever, and you're like, why the fuck is life like this, kind of thing. But then in the third letter, which again does not have to have anything to do with the first two letters, or it can, whatever, it's to your inner child, or it can be to your younger self. So then we're moving into this gentleness. We've got all the intensity out, and we've got all the what the fuck, dude, out, and we've got to this gentleness, and we're being gentle with ourselves because it's our inner child and our younger self, and that's when we really need that gentleness, and it puts us in a state where we can really honestly give ourselves that, when I think most of us a lot of the time can't do that very easily. And so this whole process, these three letters, it's it moves these emotions through in this really efficient, weirdly efficient way that I have not come across anything else that moves emotions through that effectively. And it always gives me so much clarity and stuff when I'm done. And man, other people writing their letters, they give them to me to read, or they read them to me in sessions and stuff, and there have been so many that we're both just crying by the end of it. They're so great.
Yes. So I did this last week, and I had never done that before. I never really heard of it. And it was one of those things that Mary was suggesting to me during the whole week, because I was dealing with a lot. I want to make this short because I feel like it's funny, because you'd be like, why would you have so many feelings about this situation? 7 months ago, I bought a really cool guitar in California. I flew it home. It broke. So I was mad at the airline for a while, things like that. I brought it to this guy to fix because I was told that he was the only one who could fix it. And anyway, he had it for 7 months. He didn't do the repair. There's a lot to it. It's a long, winding road. I think I will probably write it all down at some point because it's actually a great story. But I was done with it last week. He took 7 months to do nothing, and then suddenly he was like, "I need to keep your guitar some more, and I want to tell you everything that's wrong with your guitar and all these different things." Did it again, and so I was making it a practice in my efforts to not keep doing all my codependent patterns anymore. So I was like, all right, fine. I let this guy get away with this for 7 months because we were being codependent at each other. But now I'm not going to do it. I'm putting down boundaries, and I'm going to stand strong. And this is like really, really hard for me. And it brings up a whole lot of feelings. So I had a lot of things stuck. And so I would feel better. I would do the 2-minute thing, and then I would go back to feeling bad. And I was feeling a lot of shame and all these different feelings that wouldn't go away, and they kept coming back. So I finally did the letters. And so the first letter was definitely it was a fuck you letter to this guy. But what it really was a kind of a fuck you letter to my codependent patterns, right? It was just I wanted to be mad at this guy, and I was, because he was throwing patterns back at me. So we were just hooked to each other, feeding each other's bullshit for a really long time. And so I was, the fuck you letter was kind of owning to my mistakes in this, and allowing myself to be kind of mad at myself, but also forgive myself because I was identifying what was making me hold on to everything. And then, the things that inspire curiosity and awe letter, once I calmed down with that. And then the fuck you letter ends on a very funny note, which is very in character for me, where I was just anyway, if this thing breaks again, I'm just going to kick it into the sea. That was, and a crab will move into it, and that'll be great. That's the kind of thing. And so then I was feeling a lot better by the end of that one. And then I talked about light, and I was making fun of Jordan Peterson in it, and talking about shining red light on people's balls for virility. And I was well, he's a nut job, but it's not that crazy. And this is the thing you can read on my Substack. And it ends though with this whole thing being I think I'm just solar powered, and that's okay. I'm gonna go rescue my guitar from this guy, and the sun's gonna be shining, and everything's gonna be fine, right? And that was the second letter. And then in the second letter, I reference 15-year-old me, and so the third letter is to 15-year-old me, and basically, it's just telling 15-year-old me that I'm going to be killing it right now. You're not going to believe this, but in 30 years, you're going to be living your best life. You're not going to, you're going to cut all these people out. You're going to spend the year 2026 basically firing 4 people from your life that are not serving you, and having a really cool team around you and all these things, and kind of explaining that all the choices that you were making and the opinions that you had back when you were 15, they make sense based on how you were living at the time. And I remembered being 15 and dreaming of being 75. And that this was the magic age. I thought I would finally stop giving a shit about what people thought of me. And everyone who bothers me is going to be dead by then. And I'm and then I'll just be free to be cool. And 45-year-old me was telling her, guess what? You're gonna do that at 45, a clear 30 years before you thought you were going to, and it's gonna be great. And today you're about to go take no nonsense from this dude, and that is something that you never thought you were gonna be able to do. And I have to say, I was telling this story to one of my bandmates yesterday, and I don't know how I've done this because she only has really gotten to know me this year, but her opinion of me is that I'm a person who takes no shit, which is, she's like, I am so proud of, like, I am amazed by you, because I walk into a lot of the things that I've had to deal with have been band related. So I've been like, well, I'm not dealing with that guy anymore, or whatever it is. And so her perspective on me, knowing me just this year, is that I walk in and I just go, nah, we're not doing this. And I'm like, I said, excuse me?
That is funny because you have taken a lot of shit.
I've taken so much shit. And the thing with the guitar, 7 months of it, I took so much. That was this year, But it was an interesting perspective to get, because whenever I'm feeling like I'm not making the progress that I should, well, I have a person who's like new in my life, who her opinion of me is that I'm this like badass who like does not take any shit. And I was like, and I told her yesterday, I was like, historically, I take copious amounts of shit. But I'm really trying to change that now. And so that's sort of what the third letter is about. It's like you do become more and more of this person that you hoped you thought you would be on your deathbed. And you got probably like a lot of time left still to be living your best life. So that's what the three letters were. And I felt, I had to go pick up the guitar that day. And I ended up having to have a very loaded text conversation with this dude that I was not going to be prepared to have had I not done these letters. But basically I finished the third letter, sent them to Mary to read. And as she was like, these are great, I get a text from him. Because I was like, because I told her, I was like, I feel equipped to deal with this situation today now. I feel like I'm the person who can go and handle it for myself. And then he started texting me, and it was wild, but I've never had that kind of conversation with a person I was paying to do a technical job. And so I was like, all right, I can do this, and I don't think I would have been ready had I not gone on that, taken the time. So it's more than 2 minutes. But
yeah, the 3 letters takes a little while.
It takes a little while, and it's it's a lot of energy. It's a lot of energy, and writing for me is very easy. I feel lucky in that, because that is generally how I express myself. That's why I had this fight with the guy in text, because I was like, no, we're not getting on the phone to do this, But actually allowing myself to just write whatever is a little bit hard. Because I tend to kind of write it like it's going to be a blog post, or that it's going to have an audience. And yes, one of them I was like, well, that's a good piece. That's a good one. I can publish that one. I'm fine with that, though, because it was a cool piece. And it was something that I've been wanting to write anyway.
So what are the actual instructions for the third letter?
Right.
It's just whatever you want to say to your inner child.
Okay.
So, Wes, are you converted to the Church of Inner Work yet?
No. I find the last letter confusing. What's an inner child?
You are your own inner child.
Okay, see, that's even more confusing.
I mean,
you personally, like a lot of us don't have so much access to our inner child.
I found it more like easier to talk to my.
Yeah, you wrote it to your past self.
Yeah, which is one of the options.
Okay.
So
your inner child or your younger self.
So I could tell him to buy Bitcoin.
Yeah, sure.
Tell him who wins Super Bowl 52.
Here's a copy of Gray's Sports Almanac.
So a lot of us have like maybe difficult relationships with our childhoods, or what we felt like we were lacking in our childhoods, or ways that we wish we had been treated, or wish we had been loved, or something like that. So we have.
Yeah, I have all that.
Okay. And do you feel all angsty about it ever?
No.
I didn't think so. And a lot of us, because our in our actual childhoods, we were maybe like not treated super well all the time. We learn to treat ourselves not very well. And so I think you don't treat yourself badly. So that might be why it doesn't make sense to you. But so the inner child then is like an opportunity to treat yourself with the gentleness that you needed to be treated when you were an actual kid, so that you can start treating yourself with gentleness now.
Like I don't really identify with a inner child per se. I just, because I've always felt like this. Like I've always felt like this age. And so it's kind of, and that's probably what you're talking about, Mary, is that like I just don't have access to it. But
you do. I mean, a lot of what she was just talking about there applies to you.
Yeah. Like I can't even imagine it, I guess, is like that's why I decided to write to my younger self, because I can very, very easily visualize me 30 years ago and like what I was sitting with then and why. And it gave me the opportunity to not shame myself for how I was feeling then and like the decisions I made to kind of cope with things. And I feel like when I was 15, I was always feeling shame about that. Being like, man, I wish I didn't care so much what people thought about me. And if I was stronger, if I was better, if I was someone else, I would feel I wouldn't do that. And like I would be happy. And so what I was able to do in this letter was be like, no, no, that you did what you could. You couldn't be happy living that way. And you were 15, so you didn't have any of the like perspective or skills that really I've only super developed in the last year. So it takes a really long time. And, you know, to be able to kind of tell yourself you are going to break free of the things holding you down much, much earlier in your life than you think. So, you know, keep on going, you know, and it was, you know, and I know you do, right? I'm here because of that. So that was helpful to me, but I guess like actually doing again, I don't really do the invite to the picnic kind of thing. So I wasn't really talking to my inner self. I was sort of taking it literally. Like I time traveled and was like, oh my God, you know, guess what? It doesn't suck later on.
Yeah, I didn't feel like I had an inner child until I think I only ever sort of, I don't know if I had never heard of an inner child before or if I just never really thought about it, but I was like 40 and read a book and the guy kept talking about like the inner child and connecting with your inner child. And I'm like, what inner child? I was never a child. I was like, my mother said I was born a little adult and she always treated me like an adult. I was never a child. And so like, if I were to try to talk to my younger self, that would be weird. Cause like there was no child anything in there. But yeah, like I sort of found my inner child as like this feral little boy in a cave in my mind. And it took me a while to reconnect with it. And it's still hard sometimes to connect with it. Like I look at other children and I'm like, I don't understand what's going on. They don't. Children, like, why do they, like, how are they just like happy? like is that's so alien. Like, why would they just like be happy like that? Yeah.
See, like I look at Roxy. So Roxy, of course, is like my main reference now, and so I get to my experience with her is that I get to see what I could have been like had I had parents like me and Wes, right? And I go like, wow, because she is like a similar personality to both of us. I think she has elements of both of us. And I go like, wow, look at her. Look at her go. She's so good at letting stuff go and rolling with the punches, not because she thinks she has to, but because she just has better things to do than dwell on anything. And just like watching her be unencumbered in a way that I just always was at her age. It's not, and like I don't feel talk about compersion and all this kind of stuff. Like I'm so grateful for it. It's like I sit there and I'm like, oh, success. So far, I broke it. I broke the, as far as I can tell, broke that cycle, because I know that I got stuff from my family because of how she was treated and so on and so forth. And I was like, okay, we're gonna cut this generational thing out. And seeing her be as happy as she is and is just like unbothered, it's like the biggest gift I could ever ask for.
That's why we're sending her to the hippie school. We're like, you won't beat this out of her. Public school.
Yeah, so I love doing a 2-minute thing and then the 3 letters thing and then the same as the 2-minute thing, but for 5 minutes. Because like if you did it for 2 minutes and it didn't quite hit and then you did the 3 letters, it almost definitely is gonna really hit on the 5 minutes. Like you've moved a bunch of stuff through and now you're like really giving it, time to sit with it. And we usually do those 3 things in the first session of all of those classes that I do. And everybody says it's really great. And I think it's pretty great.
All right. Well, that sounds like a good place to end. Mary,
even better to end on you saying, "Now I see the value in inner work."
I told you I like inner work that comes with timers. That tells you when to stop doing the inner work.
Okay, it comes with timers. The letters don't come with timers, but they're all words. That's good, right?
Words are. Yes.
The letters,
if you're actually producing something, I mean, that's almost outer work.
I did post it to my blog. So
that's right.
I'm industrious. That's the greatest thing you can be.
That's right. You're productive.
Productive member of society.
You're contributing to to society.
The body of knowledge.
Well, I don't know if you're contributing to that.
I am. Listen, I don't know if you know this. I'm brilliant. And
well, I haven't read this post yet, so I'll be the judge of that.
I talk about Jordan Peterson's balls. This is like a really important.
Oh, God.
I mean, not in detail. This referenced them.
Awesome.
It's funny. Shut up.
So Mary, if somebody thinks this sounds awesome but needs your help, what do they do?
Well, they can DM me on Twitter or I think you're putting a link to my website in the show notes.
That's correct.
Probably. Yeah, so they can contact me through my email there. They can sign up for classes or one-on-one coaching. If they're not sure what they want to do, they can set up a free intro call with me. I'm always happy to
A free intro call?
A free intro call.
It doesn't cost anything?
It doesn't cost anything.
My God, what a deal.
30 minutes of your time. Let's see. Occasionally I do some workshops. I'm doing lots of classes that are like 5 to 7 weeks or so. They're pretty awesome. Everybody they're super small, like no more than 10 people. And usually it's a lot less than that. So it's nice and intimate. And they're really great and people get really close. And, yeah, if they want, they can read my book or read my erotica on Literotica, but that's kind of a slightly different category.
That's if they want help with something else.
Yeah.
All right, Gina.
Well, thank you for tuning in to yet another episode of Sex and Sensibility. This one was a really good one. They all are. They're all good. That's the spoiler. They're amazing episodes.
This was great.
This is great. We are great.
We're so great.
You're so lucky. No, thank you for listening.
You guys are great too.
You are.
Except you.
Thanks for joining us. We will be back a few weeks from now where we talked about a regular podcasting schedule and everything.
It's true. We're going to try to do it every 3 weeks, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. We're going to be responsible and like regular about it.
Yeah. Regularity.
And responsibility.
That's the Sex and Sensibility promise. So, thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time. Bye.
So no actual promises, though.
No.
Bye.
A joke that I'm solar powered, but joke or not, it's true. I get that winter sickness when the sky turns gunmetal blue. West built us a fake sunrise, and it helps me get through. But I come alive for real when the actual sun cuts through. Chemical fire in my skin, like a spark under my sleeve.